The WNBA just made their biggest mistake yet, and it has everything to do with the one player who saved their entire league. What happened at the All-Star game this weekend wasn't just drama, it was a masterclass in how to bite the hand that feeds you. And before we dive into this mess, if you're Team Caitlyn like most of us are, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, because what I'm about to reveal will have you shaking your head. Picture this. Saturday night, Indianapolis, sold-out crowd of over 16,000 fans at the WNBA All-Star game. Every single player walks out wearing matching black t-shirts with 4 simple words that would spark the biggest controversy of the season. Pay us what you owe us. Bold move, right? The fans loved it. They were literally chanting "pay them" during the MVP ceremony. It was supposed to be this powerful moment of unity, a statement about how WNBA players deserve more than the 9% of league revenue they currently get, while NBA players take home 50%. But then, Kelsey Plum had to open her mouth and ruin everything. In the post-game press conference, sitting right next to Sabrina, Plum decided to take a completely unnecessary shot at Caitlin Clark and her All-Star teammates. And I quote, "Not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. The meeting where they decided on the shirts, apparently none of Caitlyn's crew showed up. Even Ionescu, who was literally sitting right there, looked uncomfortable and said, 'Not really needed to be mentioned.' Let me break down why this is so incredibly tone-deaf it makes your head spin. Before Caitlin Clark arrived, these players were flying on budget airlines where you had to pay for a cup of water. You know the ones I'm talking about? Those bright yellow planes that feel like flying school buses? They were staying at sketchy motels in the bad part of town. Now, they're flying private jets and sleeping at Four Seasons hotels. And who exactly do they think made that transformation possible? The numbers don't lie. Merchandise sales are up 500%. Attendance is up 40%. The league just signed a new TV deal that's expected to exceed $100 million, compared to their previous $65 million deal. Caitlin Clark's economic impact on Indianapolis alone was calculated at $36 million. She was responsible for almost 27% of the entire league's economic activity in 2024. And this was in a year where she was dealing with injuries and wasn't even playing at her full potential. Think about that for a second. One rookie, in her first year, generated over a quarter of the league's total economic activity. That's not just impressive, that's transformative. Here's what makes Plum's comment even more ridiculous. Caitlin Clark doesn't even need this fight. She's already set for life. Between her Nike deal worth over $3 million a year, plus partnerships with Gatorade, State Farm, Wilson, and others, she made $11 million this year. 99% of her income came from endorsements. Her actual WNBA salary, just $78,000. So, while other players desperately need these salary negotiations to go well because they're living off their WNBA paychecks, Caitlin could literally play for free and still be richer than most of them combined. Yet she still wore the shirt. She still showed solidarity. She still supported her fellow players, even though she has the least to gain from it. And this is how they repay her? By calling her out publicly for missing an 8:30 a.m. meeting on a Saturday morning. Colin Cowherd said it best on his show this week. If you're in a band and you're staying at the Motel 6 and you add a band member and now you're at the Ritz-Carlton, keep your issues to yourself. You went from a Motel 6 in a sketchy part of town to a Four Seasons in the shopping district. Stop talking! But here's the thing that really gets me. The WNBA players absolutely deserve a raise. They're riding the hottest streak in the league's history. When you're in negotiations, it's all about current momentum, not what happened 12 years ago. Companies get bought all the time when they're losing money if the projection looks good. The Athletic was losing $45 million a year when the New York Times bought them. They bought them for scale, for potential. The WNBA is finally turning that corner. After 25 years of losses, they're on the verge of profitability. The new collective bargaining agreement negotiations happening right now could change everything. Players want to go from 9% of revenue to something closer to the NBA's 50%. With the league's growth trajectory, that could mean average salaries jumping from around $64,000 to potentially $500,000. This is their moment. This is when they should be united, strategic, and smart about their messaging. Instead, we get Kelsey Plum taking petty shots at the Golden Goose. What's even more embarrassing is that ESPN's Ramona Shelburne had to come out and provide context, explaining that it was obviously a joke that didn't land. Apparently, the meeting was at 8:30 in the morning, and surprise, surprise, not everyone made it. But here's the kicker. Nafisa Collier, Brianna Stewart, and Nneka Ogwumike actually went to Team Clark's locker room before the game to make sure everyone was on board with wearing the shirts. So even if some players missed the morning meeting, the leaders made sure everyone was included. That's what real unity looks like, not whatever Plum was trying to do, and the backlash has been swift and brutal. Social media is destroying her. Fans are calling it classless, unnecessary, and counterproductive. One fan wrote, "They absolutely love trying to take away their meal ticket." Another said she's entering Megan Rapinoe territory on unlikability. Even Jason Whitlock, who's not exactly known for defending WNBA players, said Plum's joke just didn't land. But my favorite response came from someone who did the math. They pointed out that if the league really paid players what they owed them, based on the WNBA losing $50 million last year, each player would owe the league $326,000. Ouch. Look, I get it. There's probably some jealousy here. Caitlin Clark walked into the league as a rookie and immediately became its biggest star. She's getting all the attention, all the endorsement deals, all the credit for the league's growth. Meanwhile, players like Kelsey Plum have been grinding for years, winning championships, putting in the work, and making a fraction of what Clark makes off the court. But here's what those players need to understand. Rising tides lift all boats. Caitlin Clark didn't take anything away from them. She added to the pot. She made the pie bigger for everyone. Every sold-out arena, every national TV broadcast, every kid buying a WNBA jersey for the first time, that benefits every single player in the league. The timing of this controversy couldn't be worse. The WNBA is in the middle of the most important negotiations in its history. The current CBA expires at the end of 2025. Right when the TV deal expires too. This is their chance to finally get the compensation structure they deserve. But instead of presenting a united front, we get this petty drama that distracts from the real issues. And let's talk about those real issues for a second. WNBA players aren't just fighting for higher base salaries. They want better travel conditions, no more commercial flights. They want better practice facilities. They want expanded rosters and better maternity benefits. They want investment in marketing and promotion. These are all legitimate concerns that deserve serious attention. The league has the momentum to make real changes. 3 of the top 6 highest valued women's sports teams in the world are WNBA franchises. The Liberty, Aces, and Storm are all valued at over $85 million. Golden State is building a new 13,000-seat arena specifically for their WNBA team. The league is adding new franchises, with Toronto joining in 2026. This growth isn't happening in spite of players like Caitlin Clark. It's happening because of them. And that's what makes Plum's comments so frustrating. At a time when the league needs to show its value, show its unity, show its professionalism, we get this. The irony is that Caitlin handled the whole situation with more maturity than the veterans. When asked about the pay issue, she acknowledged her fortunate position with endorsements, but emphasized that she's fighting for better pay for all players. She said, "We should be paid more, and hopefully that's the case moving forward as the league continues to grow. No shots at other players, no drama, just support for the cause." That's the difference between a true leader and someone who's just loud. Leaders unite, they build bridges, they focus on the bigger picture. They don't take cheap shots at teammates, especially not the teammate who's literally transforming the entire league. And here's something else to consider. This isn't even peak Caitlin Clark yet. This is year 1, with injuries, with rookie adjustments, with all the pressure and scrutiny. Remember what happened with Michael Jordan? Year 2, he was hurt, but then the next 12 years were legendary. That's what we're looking at with Clark. The league's growth so far is just the beginning. Imagine where the WNBA could be in 5 years if they play their cards right. With Clark leading the charge, with proper investment, with smart marketing, this league could explode. We're talking about packed arenas every night, major merchandise sales, legitimate mainstream sports coverage. The potential is unlimited, but that only happens if the players are smart about it. Taking shots at Caitlin Clark is like the Beatles taking shots at John Lennon. It's like the Bulls taking shots at Jordan. It's self-defeating and stupid. The sad part is, Kelsey Plum is actually a great player. 2-time WNBA champion, former first overall pick, one of the best guards in the league. She doesn't need to tear down Caitlin Clark to build herself up. Her game speaks for itself. But moments like this overshadow everything else, and that's the real tragedy here. Instead of talking about how WNBA players deserve better compensation, we're talking about petty drama. Instead of focusing on the legitimate issues in the CBA negotiations, we're dissecting unnecessary comments. Instead of celebrating the league's growth, we're dealing with this nonsense. The WNBA has a PR problem, and it's not because of Caitlin Clark. It's because of moments like this. When you have a chance to make a powerful statement about pay equity, about respecting women's sports, about the value these athletes bring, and you muddy the waters with petty shots at your biggest star, you're not helping anyone. Here's my advice to Kelsey Plum and any other player who might be feeling some type of way about Caitlin Clark. Embrace her, celebrate her, use her platform to elevate your own. The more successful Caitlin Clark is, the more successful you all are. The more money she brings to the league, the more money there is for everyone. This isn't complicated, it's basic business. You don't attack your meal ticket. You don't bite the hand that feeds you. You don't sabotage your own success out of jealousy or pettiness. The WNBA is at a crossroads. They can either capitalize on this momentum, use Caitlin Clark's star power to transform the league, and finally get the compensation and respect they deserve, or they can let petty jealousy and unnecessary drama derail everything. Based on what happened this weekend, I'm worried they're choosing the wrong path, but there's still time to fix it. Apologize, move forward, stay united, focus on what matters, getting paid what you're worth, growing the game, and building something special. Because here's the truth, the WNBA doesn't need Caitlin Clark to survive. They survived for 25 years without her. But if they want to thrive, if they want to reach their full potential, if they want those $500,000 average salaries and 50% revenue shares, they need her. And more importantly, they need to be smart about how they treat her. So Kelsey Plum, next time you want to make a joke, maybe think about whether it helps or hurts the cause. Because right now, you're not just hurting Caitlin Clark. You're hurting every player who wants a better future for this league. If you agree that the WNBA players need to stop the drama and focus on what really matters, drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell because I'll be covering every twist and turn of these CBA negotiations. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next.